this is this, so make sure, I'm gonna leave this with him.
Okay.
And make sure you do put your, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, get your information over there. If you didn't get the
I'll send
brochures,
these
there'll
over
be
there.
some
They'll be
over
over there
there.
too.
Take that, email or call her with questions. Diego, come on up front. So, thank you. So, we're excited to have KvCore here today. Ken, if you've been here before, Ken Kachke has been here before. He couldn't make it today, had something come up, so we still get Diego. We're happy to have Diego here. He's been here before as well, and very knowledgeable on KvCore. We're going to jump right into it. I know we want to respect everybody's time, so we'll go quick. Let him kind of do his overview, save some questions until we get to a Q&A, so we don't take him off too much on task. We do have another class that starts at 1:30. We try and wrap this up around 1:15, so hopefully we can stay on that task, but we want to get as much information out of Diego as we can. So I'm going to let you share your mic, and I'm going to mute mine now. Okay. We've got a few people on Zoom, and then they'll be able to hear you better. And screen share up there.
Oh no, you're seeing all my text messages. That's not. Okay. And I'm actually just gonna. Oh, that's not what I wanted. This is what I want. Okay.
No, that's me. Let me see if I give you
Just gonna close a lot of this.
Yeah. Oh, you got it.
Okay. Cool. Let me just kind of introduce myself. My name is Diego. I've been with the KvCore team for 2 years now, actually a little over 2 years. So I've actually been here longer than we've had KvCore. I joined right before our launch. And so I have a lot of contextual knowledge around the product and the platform. Specifically the last year, I've been working a lot on our marketplace. And so we'll kind of talk a little bit about our marketplace and what its purpose is and how you can use the integrations and partnerships and products in the marketplace to improve your business and maybe find cool solutions to pain points you might have with things that KvCore doesn't currently solve. Just so that I can know how many of you have been inside of KvCore / use KvCore on a regular basis. Okay, so a lot of you haven't even seen KvCore. Is that pretty likely?
We've got a lot of new agents.
Okay. So let me just kind of get some introduction going. As far as KvCore goes, how much time do I have?
Half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay. All right. KvCore is a big monster. There's a lot that KvCore does. And so I'm going to try and give you a comprehensive and clear overview. There's probably going to be a lot of follow-up questions you have. We have a great support team who you can reach out to through intercom right here. So I'm just going to point that out. You can pop this little button up at any time and just begin asking our support team questions. We also have training and training videos in our learning portal. So if you ever have specific courses, we have an agent success plan. Essentially, what are the basic things you need to know about KvCore to really power your business? So you can pop that up. We have our whole entire platform. You can select it by what product you're in currently. So let's say for KvCore, we'll just hop in and here's the categories. So I'm an agent or I'm a broker, any of these sorts of things. And we have tons and tons of courses that you can go through to learn KvCore and learn how to master it. As well, we also have a support portal. So the difference between this and our intercom is that support portal will take you into just a bunch of articles. So whenever we come out with new features or whenever we come out with, a question was brought up, how do I set up campaigns for my closed contacts, right? So I just closed the listing. How do I put them on a campaign? All that sort of stuff you can just search for right here and you can find it and learn how to do it. So there's tons and tons of information at your hands. We've tried to make it as readily available to you as possible. So if you ever have questions, go to those 3 places. And if you don't have an answer there, then support will get a hold of someone on the product team and we can get you a better answer. So hopefully that kind of helps you feel comfortable knowing there's tons of content and we're here to make you guys successful. That's our number one goal. So let's just kind of introduce the dashboard real quick. So we wanted to make this as action-based as possible. So you come in here and here are some brand new contacts that came in. For example, this kt.home, which I'm guessing is an email, right? So email comes in and they just looked at this listing. That's great. We have a brand new lead came in, Kathy Hansen. We put all this in front of you the very first time you log in because we want you to take as many actions for hot contacts as possible when you first log in. So you should reach out to KT Home and say, hey, I just realized you're looking at 11916 South Quarry Ridge. Here are some other similar listings. They can just drop them a link, right? So the whole goal of the dashboard is to make that, that information right at your hand so you can make great contacts right away. There's also filter options, and you know, you can go over those, but hey, I just want to see who texted me recently. You hit this new text button and here's all your new text. So all that kind of filter a bit is available for you. Let's talk about the CRM. So the whole point of a CRM is to have your leads in the CRM. KvCore won't be able to do anything for you unless your leads are in the CRM. We have behavioral automation. We have campaign automation. We have all this automation that we've baked into this platform, but if there are no contacts in there that are engaging with your website, there's nobody emailing or texting you, then there's nothing that the platform can do for you. So we've tried to do a lot of different things that will help you get your leads into the system. So for example, let's talk about one of them. We have this lead engine, right? We're getting leads into the system. You have a bulk import. So let's say you're using someone like Follow Up Boss, or you just came from Sync, right? You have this export of all your contacts. What you'll do is you go into your bulk import, and from here, you can either let our support team handle it. So you just send them the CSV using this, and in about 3 days, they'll get it imported. The reason is this is typically the route most people go with. And so because of that, it just takes a lot of time for our support team to go manually update or import your CSVs, or you can do it yourself. And then there's a nice little walkthrough of how to do that. So that's option one of how to get your leads in the system. We're all about getting leads into the system. The next thing is we give every office what we call a smart number. All right. This smart number is essentially designed to track all the actions that you are making towards your contacts and all their responses back. So we can do things like, hey, they just texted back. When you make a phone call, we'll track all those things. So we give each office, so in EXP, each office has one smart number, and all of your contact, all of your messages will go through that. Or once again, go into the marketplace, a little throw out. You can purchase your own custom smart number, so you can have a little more control over the area code and things like that. But so essentially, you have the smart number, and anytime a brand new lead, let's say a brand new person texts you or calls you, and you've never ever had contact with them before, and KvCore doesn't recognize the phone number, we automatically trigger a new contact created. So that's another way that we're working on getting leads into the system for you. Let's talk about websites real quick. This is, oh, that's not where I wanted to go. This is a demo account. It's not like I was showing you anything secret. It's just a demo account. This is, I'm just gonna pull up Eric's website just to keep everything really, really personal for everyone. So this is pretty much a website that comes out of the box. Every KvCore agent will have their own website. There are a couple, I think, tweaks and modifications and improvements that have been made on this site. I'm not totally sure. Like for example, this banner up top, I'm pretty sure that's custom. But pretty much from here, this is what it looks like. So you have a nice little search bar. You have these nice custom widgets, and you can kind of customize that on your end. And let's just go create a lead real quick. So I am in Vineyard, but I'm really, really interested in moving into Daybreak, right? Who isn't? So let's just search, and we're gonna grab some beds, 2+ and 2+. I don't have any kids, so obviously I don't need a really big house. Okay, so let's just look. Oh, great, this one looks really, really cool. So I grab this one. I go in and I say, hey, I wanna save this contact, right? Boom, automatically we're already working to get that contact registered for you. So we'll grab their email and we'll create a lead right there so you can follow up with them. They can use Facebook, they can use Google, however they want to actually register. Another thing, let's say I go in and I'm not actually I didn't really find the house I wanted, but I want to get some alerts here. So what I can do is I can go and save my search. And then once again, we capture that contact. We create the brand new contact, and in your CRM, you're going to find that search alert saved, and we're going to automatically trigger these search alerts going out to that contact, however they say. So let's say, for example, I go in here. That's once again the wrong one. I'm just going to close this. I'm just going to go ahead and register with my email. And this is not mandatory. You don't have to, they don't actually have to put in their phone number, but we do try to get that for you. So we'll continue. Let's just go see a couple things real quick. So remember that dashboard I was showing you? Brand new, here I am. This is the home I just looked at, right? And then let's actually go check out this contact specifically, because I'm going to go save this search. Let's save the search. And I go in, I want to call this my daybreak search. And I say, hey, I want to get daily, right? And so we give all the control to them. One of the things that we hear a lot is, hey, contacts are complaining because they're just kind of casually looking and we're hitting them every 5 seconds, right? So we kind of gave that control to them. So they go in, okay, they want daily updates. So every day we're going to hit them with some updates for listings in daybreak, right? And as they get more and more fine-tuned in their search, we respond and we update that search so that all that is automatic. Great. Okay, let's keep talking about how to get leads into the system. So we talked about bulk import. We talked about smart numbers. You have your website that's always working towards you. And along with that, you have landing pages. So you can build a nice custom little landing page. You can also build squeeze pages. Squeeze pages are great. Let's just do one real quick, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. You have a couple different options. You can do multi-property, right? This is kind of this, let's find all the homes in South Jordan that are, townhomes, right? You can kind of build this search alert. And then what it will do is it actually will spit out a Facebook or Google link so that you can go and create an ad yourself. Or let's just say, so let's just do this real quick. I'm going to create my South Jordan. Awesome. And my listing type is townhomes. And let's just say the price I'm looking for 350 to 400. And okay, let's just generate the link. So right from there, that's all that you've done. You generate a link, boom. Here's your link right here for Facebook. So you can copy either the short link or the long link, whichever one you prefer. Short links are great because they don't take a ton of characters, right? And so if you're dropping it into a text message or if you're dropping it anywhere where there's like a character limit or it's kind of small, you don't have this big, huge, long link. And so anyway, in Facebook, it won't matter much. So let's just go to my Facebook. Let's log in. Hopefully there's nothing embarrassing politically on here. And then you drop in your link. Oh, come on. Maybe. Let's try this one more time. There we go. And then Facebook will automatically go to this URL and fetch the preview of what I just created. So boom, here's all my townhomes in St. George or South Jordan, Utah. Right? So all of that is kind of available. Then you post it, right? And you have this nice little snazzy caption that says, hey, everyone, just wanted to keep you updated, right? Whatever you guys say. I'm not a marketer, so I don't know what you guys actually say. But whatever you, what's that?
Can you take out the link now that it's pulled up?
That's a great question. Let's find out.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yes, you can.
Sweet.
And those are all houses that no other agents are posting?
These are all from the MLS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so potentially nobody, I mean, if they're, I would assume if they're a horrible agent, they're probably not posting it, but I mean, it's just coming from the MLS. So, cool. So that's the squeeze page. You can do multi-property, you can do a very single property. So, I mean, the greatest use case, right? You just went over this listing and you want to start marketing it really hard and you want to put on Facebook. So you go and generate for that very specific listing, you pull it in, and then you can drop that new Facebook ad. Hey, new listing on the market. This is a great opportunity for you to get your friends and your neighbors, like choose your neighbor, all that kind of stuff, right? So you can go and do all that. You can also do seller squeeze pages. So if you're interested in generating some more seller traffic, you want to get a couple more sellers, you can go in and create a new link there. And so all that's available. If you want to create another one for a market report, let's say that you want to go in and get a bunch of demographic data, sold data on a specific area, you can go generate that and post it in Facebook and generate contacts that way. So we have a ton of different ways that we get contacts into the CRM. Another one I would go over, but it's just a whole nother piece, is our Open House app. If you haven't seen our Open House app, go download it on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, the App Store. And essentially all it is a registration sheet. So you go in, you have your iPad or your phone or your laptop, whatever it is, just sitting there on the table. They come in, ask them a couple questions. Are they working with an agent already? All that sort of stuff. And then we'll create those contacts in your CRM. All there ready for you. We'll hashtag them. So let's talk about hashtags real quick. So let's say a lead comes in with a hashtag. You'll notice right here, Kathy Hansen, who we saw earlier, has a couple hashtags on them. So there's this KV paid FB, which I personally know actually means KvCore generated Facebook advertising. So it looks like Eric has some sort of Facebook advertising package that we have, and they've come through with that. Also has 84096, which I'm assuming is a zip code. So you can tag all your contacts. And let's say that I only want to pull up all the ones with this hashtag Harriman. Oops. I come in. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, I know why it is. You have to go with the pound sign first. You'd think I know the system already. So here are all my contacts in my CRM with Harriman. So this is great because let's say that I just listed a brand new listing in Harriman. So I want to capture all these contacts and I want to mass text them. So great, I'm going to mass text all these. This is probably not compliant. You probably have to go through more. Okay, so let's get my canned response. And then because I want to talk to them about this very specific listing, I just paste in the new MLS ID, which in this case is this, right? And then you hit send. And you now sent all of your contacts who are hashtag Harriman with this brand new listing you just won in Harriman, right? So there's just so many different tools that we have as far as how do we win you, more contacts, generate more contacts, and then there's just a ton of stuff that you're going to do within the CRM once those contacts are in here. So I hope I've sold you on getting your contacts into KvCore just with the solutions we have. So let's talk about search alerts real quick. So we talked about how your contacts can save your search alerts. You can always go in and edit them. Or if you want to honor the one they set up on their website, you can go in and set up a second search alert. And you go, hey, I actually talked to Diego on the phone. And, I know that he was really interested in townhouses earlier, but I think I've sold him on, a condo. Just kidding. You'll never sell me on a condo. But they're actually looking on having a kid in the next 5 months. So he wants 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, right? So you go and you get to create it. You can save and send, which means it'll trigger an automatic send, or you can just set the alert, and the next time that we run the search alert job, that's when it will send out. So it's usually like every single night. Oh, and it says I have to have an area. And he's interested in, let's say Bluffdale. I don't know. Why not? So we go in and we set the alert. Great. So now Diego has 2 different search alerts in there. One for the one that he said on the website and one based on the conversation you just had. So now all that is automatically going out. Let's talk about behavioral automation real quick because this is really cool. So there's another tab called Marketing Autopilot, right? These are a lot of things that we're automatically doing for you. So behavioral automation. You can set the contact types that behavioral automation applies to. So let's say, you don't really use the sphere contact status. So you can go and uncheck that. But essentially everything that Eric has set here, sphere, prospect, new lead, active lead, any contact that has that status, these behavioral automations will automatically trigger. And this is what it looks like. So let's say that a lead has kind of gone cold over the last 14 days, right? Hasn't come back to your website, hasn't looked, and then suddenly on day 14 or day 15 or day 16 or day 365, they come back to your website and they look. We're automatically going to send out an email or a text that kind of talks like this. So, hi, and then we grab their first name. I'm glad you're able to spend a little bit of time on my site again. It looks like you're right. And we just hit them with this automatic engagement from you, right? It looks like it just came from you. So they get, behavioral automation, and all it's designed to do is to drive additional engagement, to get them to text you back or email you back or re-engage and kind of help you understand, are they warmer now? Are they ready to transact in the next 6 months, right? Where are they kind of at? And so all those sorts of behavioral automation are right there out of the box.
Can you edit that behavioral automation as far as like what's said in the?
It's a great question. Not today. Not today. We've had a lot of requests that agents want to have a little more customization around that. But we just haven't tackled it yet.
But it looks like you can turn them on or off.
You can turn them on or off. Yeah.
Hey, just a plug on that note, a couple weeks ago, some of you already know this, but I got a client that called me that entered my, and you'll talk about property boost, but
Oh, yeah.
I had boosted one of my listings through KvCore. She went into my KvCore in November, and I never reached out to her once. But she reached out to me thinking we had this relationship because she's been getting all of this communication on my behalf from KvCore, and she's ready to go start looking at properties and buy now. And she said, hey, can we meet in person at your open house tomorrow? And it wasn't my open house. It was on a property that KvCore had sent her based on the properties that she'd been looking at. And so yeah, just as far as behavioral analysis, she had all this communication since last November and was ready to buy and reached out to me to meet.
Yeah.
Are you getting a referral? No, I'm getting the client. Are you?
But yeah, we're always constantly working on having a conversation, on getting these contacts formed. So that's behavioral automation. So that's how that works. Let's talk about market reports and seller traffic reports, and then we'll hit campaigns, and we'll see where we're at there. So let's talk about those real quick.
About birthdays, is it like send a reminder of birthday?
I'm going to hit that one when we talk about campaigns.
Okay.
So I promise I'll come back to that one because that's actually exciting, and we just launched it.
I love birthdays.
So let's talk real quick about market reports. This happens all the time, right? You contact who's interested, kind of casually looking, right? Like my wife and myself, we're always kind of casually looking. And we're interested to know, right? Like what is the average price in this specific area? What's, how many homes have been sold, right? We're kind of interested in a lot of this data. And so you can go in here and you can set up a market report. Let me just remember where this is. I actually think it's closer to the top. Higher. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm blind. So you just go in and you add market report. And once again, we know that Diego's interested in Bluffdale and South Jordan, I think was where it was. I don't remember.
Diego, they're wondering how you got to what you're looking at right now.
Oh, yeah.
Idea.
So we clicked on Smart CRM,
Okay.
right? So we went back to our CRM, and Diego, that's
You
me.
just clicked on the client.
Yep, you clicked on the client, and then down on the left side, you have this market report section. So you go in, and let's just say, hey, maybe he's interested in staying in Vineyard, which I'm not, but so you go ahead, add. So you can also send the report, and you can kind of update how many days. We give you a couple different options. 28 days is the typical default one, but if they're interested in having it weekly, you can do that as well. So we'll hit add, and so every 28 days, I'm going to get an email from KvCore with this market report for Vineyard. So it's going to go in, it's going to tell me, okay, what's the demographic data? How many listings were sold in the last 28 days? What's the average price of the homes, right? All that sort of stuff comes in this nice little report. So I want to talk about that. Once again, another automated thing we're doing. Let's talk about campaigns. So we have default campaigns, which means these come with the system. They're automatically on, and we have them trigger on very natural default places. So for example, a new contact signs up on my website. They come in as a brand new lead. We trigger a campaign, and it's just a nice little drip campaign that hits them. And let's talk about what those look like real quick. So let's go back to Marketing Autopilot, and we're going to go to our Smart Campaigns. And so we have these system campaigns, and so you can just kind of open them up. Oh, I guess I have to hit the down arrow. And so here are kind of the ones out of the box. So we have a property boost and Facebook ads campaign. We have an open house campaign. So these are for anybody that the open house app creates, right, when they register using your open house app. We have default sellers, we have default buyers, expireds. And so we have all these kind of system default campaigns that you could just add right out of the box and they work great. Or let's say that you want to get really, really snazzy. So it looks like we have a couple different default ones. Let's see this open house seller. So this looks like one that Eric probably set up for himself. You go in and here are all the actions. So a campaign has a set of actions. Within the actions, you have 2 immediate actions you can take. So it looks like there's a text and an email that goes out automatically, right? That's pretty typical because not every contact has an email, not every contact has a phone number. So it's kind of safe to hit them with both. And then day 1, we hit them we actually hit Eric with a notification saying, hey, call this person. Then on day 2, here's another one that says call them, but don't leave them a voicemail this time because you don't want to be creepy. And then on day 4, you're going to call again. So this seems like it's very, very heavy at front, right? You're calling them every single day. And then we're going to send them a text message, which is, did you get the CMA? Another notification to call, right? So you kind of set up this drip campaign that both sends out communication to the contact and also sends you notifications on things that you need to do. So you can set up tasks for yourself. Things like on day 60, hey, this person hasn't contacted me. You can set up a notification for yourself to move them to a specific status or to hashtag them as cold or all those sorts of things you can kind of do. Or you can have the system do it automatically for you. So you could say on day 5, if they haven't contacted me back or engaged with me in any way, then I want to add this hashtag or I want to move them to a specific status. So there's a lot of things. Or even better, maybe on day 5 they haven't hit you up, and so you want to hit them with something like Bomb, or you want to put them into your Mojo dialer. You can set up a webhook on that campaign. So you send out a webhook to Mojo, and on day 15, because they haven't called you and you have them on this campaign, we send a webhook to Mojo dialer, which adds it to this brand new list, and they just kind of end up on your list that you end up calling for next month, right? So there's just a lot that you can do with these campaign actions. So in the back, does that answer your question on closed campaigns that you had? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's talk about birthdays and anniversaries, because I said that we would talk about those. So birthdays and anniversaries, actually fairly new. We just launched it in the last couple of weeks. Something that you should know is we are always trying to push brand new features for you. We're constantly weighing all of the options that we have. We get requests from our 120,000 users and our couple thousand brokerages that we're with, right? We get all these feature requests, as well as we're always looking around the space and seeing what are cool things that other CRMs are doing, maybe what are some cool point solution features that they have. We're always constantly trying to weigh what's the next thing that we're gonna build. So birthdays and anniversaries, this was a huge one that we've had requested for a long time, so we built it, right? And this is super cool. So you have the ability to go in and enter a birthday on a contact. When the birthday hits on that day, once again, you get to trigger which statuses that you want these on. So for example, like maybe I don't want to do this for new leads or active leads, right? Or maybe prospects, right? Because that might be creepy that they know that you have their phone or their birthday. I don't know. However you want to set it, you can just turn those on. And then you kind of get this nice little happy birthday email. And we let you change the template. So you get to select your template. These templates are pulled from the Smart Campaign section. So what you want to do is if you want to write your nice little custom happy birthday message, then, oh wait, maybe. Oh, you can do it right here. That's cool. I just learned that. Look at that. Look at that. So you just kind of go in and you can click it and then you can go in and actually edit it right there. So maybe I was right. Okay, I was right originally. You do have to do it in the template section. So let me go show you where that is real quick and we'll come back. Let's go back to Smart Campaigns. Templates. And you create your email template. So under email, you hit add template. It's gonna be an email template and we're gonna call this happy birthday. And Eric, I promise to go delete this afterwards. So you go in and you add your subject, right? Which is happy birthday from Eric, right? And then you go in and you type all your cool stuff and you add your nice little photos, right? All that kind of stuff. And then you add the template. So I'm just going to cancel this real quick because I don't actually want that to ever go out. Let's go back to birthdays. So when I go in here and I create my nice little birthday, I'm going to change my template and it will be in here. I didn't create it obviously, but it will be in here. And okay, I want to grab this first buyer email for some reason. And that's the one I want to send. So I'm going to run it on the date, or maybe I want to run it before the date or after the date. You kind of have those options right there. You also have the option for a text. Once again, these pull from your text templates, which is in the exact same place we just were, but just under the text section. So same thing with anniversary of purchase. So I want to send them something on the 1 year, or you can go in and enter all that in. We have all that data stored, and then you can do the exact same thing there. Cool. Any questions? This is kind of a natural place to kind of stop. We've talked a lot about how to get contacts into your system. We've talked a lot about automation that we run. What questions do you guys have?
So how, when you're saying things like text messages and sending text messages on your behalf, is that linked to like my personal phone number?
It's not. It goes back to that smart number I was talking about. So
So I have my own smart number?
you
or
don't. Well, it depends. It depends. Your office has a smart number. So in EXP, whatever office you're under, you have that smart number. One of the challenges that EXP kind of runs into is that often the offices that are set up are actually kind of far removed from where you actually are. And so it may have a different area code than you want. That's when you go in and you buy your own smart number. And let's walk through that real quick because I want to introduce the marketplace to you guys real quick. So you have right here in our featured section, you have a smart number add-on. So you go in here, pricing, it's $27 a month with a 3-month initial term. Great, you hit add to KvCore, you fill out the form and you purchase it. That makes sense? Cool, what else we got?
So the other reason you want to do that is because sometimes your leads will get switched to somebody else, right? Like how was taught that in the boot camp?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't ever have your contact switched to somebody else.
Can't remember why he said that.
From what I understand, it's possible for us to know some of the same people, right? Maybe have some of the same SOI or whatever. It goes back to engagement from my understanding. So if you haven't engaged that person, they're in your CRM in here, but I talked to them last week, it's gonna know who that should go to.
Oh, yeah. So
Based on
what he's saying,
consistency of-
so we have to figure out some business logic, right? Because EXP has so many agents, right? So let's say that you both know me, right? And Jeff sends me a text message yesterday, right? And you sent me a text message a week ago, and I was actually responding to your text message. It's gonna go to Jeff because he texted me most recently, because we just don't, there's no other way for us to know, right? Our assumption is gonna be, well, the person most recently. So it is another great reason to have your own smart number.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's only if we're sharing the same smart number. We're not
Correct.
sharing the same smart number.
Then that's not an issue, right? Yeah, so if it's an EXP agent in Vancouver, I don't even know if there's EXP agents in Vancouver, but let's say are, it won't go to them. It's just under the same smart number.
Because we have one smart number for the state, right?
Yeah, I think that's how
I think
EXP
it's
set it
one
up.
for the state.
Yeah, go for it.
So how do you go to that to buy that? What page is that?
Marketplace.
It's just under it's under the marketplace. Let's just go back there, right there. So, okay, let's talk about Property Boost. Property Boost is a cool one. We launched it just over a year ago, and Property Boost is awesome. So let's talk about it real quick. Oh, it's right here at the top. So, advertising is in my mind one of the best ways to generate brand new contacts. The one thing that's really, really important to understand about advertising contacts is, for the most part, and I say for the most part because there are tons of cases that we know of where this isn't true, but for the most part, these are kind of slow nurture contacts, right? But if you're ever in a case where you just need to build up your pipeline, then advertising is a great way to go, because once again, once they get into the CRM, we're going to hit them with drip campaigns. We're going to hit them with search alerts. We're going to hit them with behavioral automations, all this sort of stuff, so that it looks like you're constantly engaging with them on an active basis. So Property Boost is one of the ways that you can advertise for a very specific listing. So I don't know what one of Eric's listings are, but let's just try and pull one up real quick. Let's see if there's any in Bluffdale. Oh, I pulled up the address. Okay, so let's say that you have this brand new listing, 8619 Bluffdale Drive, Sun Valley. So you go in and you can just use the selected listing. You can do a listing or an open house boost. We call them boosts. A listing boost is going to take the image of the property and it's going to take some text. We've done a bunch of A and B testing around what performs the best and what images perform the best and all that kind of fun stuff. And you can kind of select the package you want. We have a 3-day $45 boost, a 1-week $60 boost, right? You can do all these sorts of things. You'll then pay, and the next 6 to 12 hours, your ad will be created on Facebook. It takes another like 12 hours for it to be approved on Facebook on a long scale. Usually it's faster, but we just say that. So in 24 hours from you boosting, you can expect leads to start dropping into your CRM. So that's on the listing boost. Let's talk about open house boost real quick. Open house boost is a little bit different. So once again, we have that same property. we grabbed the open house data from the MLS. So on this one specifically, there was no open house information from the MLS. So you can go in and you can change it and you can select the open house dates, right? So if this is actually your listing and you actually put the open house data on the MLS, then you'll have it there ready for you. So you go in, same sort of thing, you purchase the package you want, and the copy changes a little bit. You'll notice, so you still have the address, but you have the dates of the open house. So what this is great for is, let's say that you just closed a listing, right? And it's now Wednesday, and you want to boost for the next 3 days up until Sunday to make sure that you have good attendance at your open house. So you drop this on Facebook, boom. And what we'll do is we'll hit everybody in a 15-mile radius around the position of that home. So everybody within 15 miles of that home is going to get advertised to, and we'll just start driving contacts into your CRM that way. Here's another great thing that Property Boost will do. We understand that advertising for a listing is not enough. Your seller has to know that you're advertising. If they don't know, then it's really not a benefit. It's not a tool in your tool belt that you're going to use to win listings, right? You can't walk in and say, oh yeah, I advertise for you, because somebody using Property Boost is going to go in and say, oh, we're going to advertise for you and you're going to get a report. So they're going to get email and text reports about how the advertising program is going, right? They're going to see things like how many clicks, how many comments, how many, they don't see leads. We save that for you guys just because I think that in many cases, we don't want them knowing how many leads you're generating, right? But we do show them metrics of how the ad is performing throughout the week. So that's Property Boost. Any questions on Property Boost?
I'm trying to remember the name of that, the camera that does a 360 imaging and where you can get your own websites created and stuff to do the same thing.
Oh,
Can you
it's,
copy that and put it into Property Boost? What's that called?
shoot. I was just talking to them the other week too.
360 tours, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, it's something 360 though. iSpy 360? Is that them? Is that who you're thinking
No,
of?
but there's another one, yeah, but it's similar to that.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, where it'll create a website for you and then have that same type of thing. Could we post that on that listing booster at all?
You can't today. Today it only pulls from the MLS listings. But let's talk about that real quick because that's actually an important, different question. Let's talk about listings real quick. So let's say that you want to enhance your boost. You just had it staged. You just had brand new pretty pictures taken, right? And maybe you have a professional photographer and you don't want to use what's on the MLS or anything like that. So you can go in and all you have to do, I think you actually have to find your listings. Anyway, in here, there's a section that you can enhance your listing and you can update new photos. If you have a virtual tour link, you can drop your virtual tour link there. All that sort of stuff, or maybe a YouTube video. You have a YouTube video created. I don't know if you know if you guys have Core Listing Machine or not, but Core Listing Machine is also one of our products, and it gives you both a YouTube video and a virtual tour for every listing that you get. All that sort of stuff will flow through, and it ends up on your front end website. So
What's that called?
Core Listing Machine. So that one's also in the marketplace, and then there's Core Social. So Core Listing Machine and Core Social do those sorts of things. Once again, all in the marketplace.
Matterport, that's what it's called.
Matterport. Yeah. You can't get Matterport image or tours onto the Property Boost, but like I was saying, you can enhance your own listings and you can get that onto your front end website. So when someone looks at it, you have that. So that is there. Let's talk about a couple different things for Property Boost. There's a couple ways to get Property Boost notifications. So let's say that this is, once again, your listing in Cottonwood Heights. You can boost the property and you go into Property Boost with that listing specified. We'll also send you out emails every time you get a brand new listing, kind of congratulating you and giving you a couple different options of things you can do. Property Boost is one of them. And then lastly, on the dashboard, anytime you win a new listing, there's kind of a notification. I don't know when the most recent listing has been. Anyway, but we'll give you a notification saying, hey, you got a new listing, boost it on Property Boost.
And one thing to add on the Property Boost, because I've done a few of them, and I've gotten no less than 20 leads during the 1 week boost for $60. I learned to just do 1 week at a time because I go under contract pretty quick. And if I paid for 3 weeks of my Property Boost, now the property's changed to under contract on the MLS. And so to the public, they don't see it on those sites.
Yeah. Cool.
Can you still get buyer leads from that though, Jeff? Can you do it like that?
Well, you can still get leads, but the property boost, when they come to the site, if it's under contract.
Oh, it'll just be gone.
Right.
Yeah, it'll say something like this listing can't be found, right? It kind of depends on how your MLS does it.
But they might go and start viewing other properties. Or something.
Yeah. So cool. Okay. KvCore, we talked about how to get leads into the system. We talked about automation, search alerts. Oh, listing traffic reports. So we go over that real quick because this is really cool. Once again, another tool in your tool belt as you're getting sellers. So let's say, for example, that Diego is actually a seller and not a buyer. You can create a listing traffic report. So you just won their listing. You enter in their MLS ID, and now what's going to happen is we're gonna drop your seller reports on how many contacts have viewed your listing in the last week, right? So every single week we're gonna hit them up with this report that kind of just lets them know how much traffic is being pushed there. So doing things like seller squeeze reports or property boost, all those sorts of things will drive a ton of traffic and SEO to that specific listing. And so you can really show your sellers, hey, look, I'm working very, very actively for you. We're getting a lot of traffic to your listing. And so it kind of helps you have another tool in your toolkit. So that was one I want to come back to. Let's talk about the marketplace real quick. How much time do you good? Okay, let me just
Anybody
run.
want him to stop? We're good.
Okay, I got to go in the next couple minutes, but let me just kind of walk you through this stuff real quick. Couple different categories we have. Let's talk about lead gen, right? So lead gen is actually one of the things I've worked on a ton in the last year. We know there's a lot of demand for it, and so we wanted to make sure that everybody had tons of access to good lead gen. So you have Property Boost, right? Property Boost is very specific for a listing and for an open house, okay? You also have just some generic Facebook AI advertising and retargeting. Retargeting is great because anytime someone comes to your website and leaves, you want to follow them around on the internet. And so what we've done is we've built this Facebook AI advertising, which you'll go in and there's a couple different packages depending on how much marketing spend you have, right? And you go in and you purchase it, and we'll just automatically set up campaigns. We'll set up about six to seven different campaigns. Once again, all A/B tested, all constantly being optimized to make sure that you have the best CPL and all that fun stuff, right? Same thing with Google. We'll do the exact same thing on the Google side. So if you want to get a bunch of search advertising in there, we'll do the exact same thing. If you want to do just retargeting, let me just kind of go back to this one real quick and go, we have this really cool advertising product that just came out. It's this Google display branded retargeting. And so that's a couple different things. There's a nice little video that you can watch on what it does, but essentially it takes this nice short little video that we set up in an automated fashion for you guys. And once again, someone hits your website and they bounce off and they go back somewhere else, and suddenly your face is just following them all over Google. It's so funny because I've worked on this for so long. Like I'll go anywhere and all I see is real estate ads. I don't see ads for anything but real estate, even though like I delete my contacts and everything, but they just follow me everywhere. So it's just really funny how that kind of works. So that's advertising. Tons of different options there. Let's say, for example, that
Diego, that retargeting, that's a product.
it is a product.
So what's the cost associated with
I think it's 100 or 150
for
the month. It just recurs every month.
And it's just automatically scrubbing your website, who's been there, and getting in front of them again.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. We do have another cool product that's coming out. It has a lot more media outlets. So I have like YouTube video retargeting, right? Those annoying ads that you see when you hit YouTube, right? Instead, it's an ad of you, right? And so once again, we're going to create a bunch of different products. This one will come out. It's kind of a higher end product, but it should be coming out in the next little bit. Just about having a more wide media channel as far as retargeting and advertising goes. Let's talk about vanity domains, because I heard that we have somebody who just purchased this. So let's say, for example, this is, for example, timetomoveutah.com is a vanity domain, right? It just means that you already have a domain that you bought on GoDaddy or somewhere else, and you want to essentially want our servers to serve up our website to that specific domain. And so we can do all that. and that can be found in the marketplace instead of using your EXP generated one, which would be like, I think in this case, it'd be like ericjones.exprealty.com. So that's kind of the one that comes out of the box. So that's all available. Let's say that you work multiple areas. So the way EXP has it set up is you can only have one website per MLS. So let's say that you're working multiple areas. I don't know what cases that might be, but you can go purchase an additional templated website for your brand new area. Let's say that you start selling homes in like Southern California. You can go in and purchase that new website. Is your question?
That was exactly it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Look at that.
If you're a member of the Park City MLS and Salt Lake MLS, can we have it feed into the same website?
No. No. Yeah. The short answer is no. Unless
Wrong answer?
does
Can you go on?
does EXP have separate offices for the two? Does Park City have one office and then the rest, it's all one office?
One broker.
It's one broker, but they're separate MLSs. So what you're saying, you can only have one IDX, one fee per website, right? Or can you have
Yes.
multiple MLSs going?
I was pretty sure that in most cases, one office could have one MLS tied to it. But if it, I don't know. That's a great question that I should get back to you on. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
because we've
because-
got the St. George offices, they have their own MLSs and they have the same broker.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna pause.
But your feed is.
I'm gonna pause my.
Washington.
So then it goes into your KvCore.
Let me just look
So
at
she's
something
in
real
St.
quick.
George and the Washington MLS goes into her KvCore.
And then we have.
Really?
EXP in
Into
Park
the
City
same
that
website?
they
Yeah.
have.
We've got 3 people at least up there.
Okay. I was gonna look in our database, but anyway,
What do we ask about that? How to set that up?
support.
Support?
Yeah, just hit them up on intercom down
Yeah,
here.
you hit the chat thing.
Yeah.
For your response.
I didn't know that. That's a new thing for me. Cool. Let's talk about some other things. Shoot. What to talk about? There's a ton of stuff. So EXP templated websites. Oh, let's say that maybe you want a different website. Maybe you want to implement WordPress, right? We have WordPress solutions in there. Drive time essentially. Go ahead.
When you have your own domain.
Yep.
Where do we go, or how do you point it to your site? So you have your.
Great question. Great question. So let's open that one real quick, and then I probably should head out. So when you open up the form, it's going to ask you for your name and all that fun stuff, and your broker. This is sorry. Let's go back. This is the vanity domain form.
Oh, vanity.
Yep.
Oh, you have, what happens if you already have your own domain? We have to buy it through you guys? So I already have my own.
So you already have your own domain, right? But you want our template to be essentially you want your
My
domain pointed.
to
Yes.
yours.
So what you're going to do is you're going to fill out this form, and essentially it's going to ask you for what's your domain. Then we're going to ask you who your registrar is. We're going to get your login information because we're going to set it all up for you.
Awesome.
And then we'll go in and we just do it ourselves, just so that it's a lot simpler.
Don't you charge like $12 a month for that or something?
Let me double check before I say yes.
$11.
What's that?
$11.
$11. There we go. A month.
Okay, before you move on from Marketplace, can you explain what the difference might be between Make It Rain and then your KvCore product where you guys do the advertising?
I would like to. I actually don't know Make It Rain very well.
Okay.
I built the tile for Make It Rain, but I actually don't know what they do.
So
That's great.
Make It Rain is through EXP. KvCore actually has their own ad spends where their team keeps a small percentage of your ad spend or whatever, but
I think there's a small.
they're marketing specialists. That's what they do. And so for your ad spend, they're going to make sure a portion of that goes to the retargeting and hits your demographics and helps you with. So you're not the one going to Facebook and creating your own ads and just hoping for the best, because there's a lot of back end stuff that really makes it. And Eric's doing that right now and has some great success with it.
Cool.
What other, you mentioned Facebook a ton. Does-
Yep.
Right now, does it integrate with any other platforms? You mentioned YouTube with UW.
Yeah, so we have another product coming out that will have YouTube retargeting and tons of other ones. For now, what's that?
Instagram.
We don't have any Instagram right now, but I believe that new product I was talking about does have Instagram on it. So, yeah, it's things that we can do. We just haven't yet.
Get on it, man.
Seriously, though. Hey, pay me for more developers, and I will. Cool. I have like 3 minutes. Any other questions? Things that you want me to go back to? Any other questions? Things that might affect your business specifically?
So Jake, you went to you actually bought a boot camp that taught you more about KvCore, right?
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell everyone about that? Because I think that's been really helpful for you.
Yeah, so there's a guy named Shannon. If you go to like the workplace thing, you can look up Shannon, and he does this thing. I don't know if it's just a marketing thing or not, but he says like normally $397 and he's doing it for $97 now. But what's cool is he'll take a drone footage and put that on your website of your area. So I have like a St. George drone footage on my website, and then I have he did like a signature for me, and then like 9 videos of how to kind of navigate through KvCore, a lot of what he was talking about, kind of help us do well at it, you know, and kind of understand it. It's been good. I think it's worth the money. I don't remember his last name. Just get on that KvCore discussion in the workplace.
The workplace,
In the workplace.
through EXP's workplace.
You guys wrote it down, right? Like if they text you or something, can you guys send it to them? Did you figure out?
Yeah, when we were on the Zoom call, I think I wrote it down.
Okay. So you could probably send it to them. Good.
Cool.
Great.
Any other questions before? What's your cell phone?
You ready? You ready? Oh. I was gonna give it to you. But you can hit me up my email anytime. Here, let me just drop my email on
Will
the
there be integration with Banner Season?
banner season. I don't know who they are.
Custom card and gift company.
Oh, not that I know of, but I mean we could look out. I mean we're always looking. Let's just talk about that real quick. I know that I said I gotta go, but let me just talk through this real quick. There's a couple different ways that you can do integrations. I don't know if they use Zapier. Zapier is kind of a nice little connection point. Essentially, we'll push stuff out to Zapier. So like when a new contact is created, we'll push a notification out to Zapier. And then what you can do is you can hook up other solutions into Zapier and then kind of match up the fields. So if Banner Season has a Zap, then you can just go and hook up Zapier and it will do all that for you. The other thing you could do, if Banner Season supports webhooks, you can go and set up webhooks. So let me just show you that real quick. So let me share my screen. Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen again. So if you go back to the marketing autopilot, you can do it. Come on. So if you go to marketing autopilot and you go to smart campaigns, so let's say that you have a campaign that you trigger for contacts that have hashtag Banner Season, then what you could do is you would go in and you'd create an action called a webhook. Right, so you create a webhook action and you can just call it Banner Season or whatever it is, right? And then you select the template for the webhook and then you just run it, right? So you can just kind of run it. And this obviously feeds off of webhook templates that you set up. Or you can do Zapier actions, right? So you can call this Banner Season if you're hooked up to Zapier. So there are integration points that they can kind of build to. And so that kind of becomes available to you. So I would say webhooks or Zapier are probably your best bet.
I know you got to go, but
Yeah.
one thing you didn't really mention, or I missed it, real briefly, if you could explain to them how the validation run works.
Oh yeah, sure. It's great. It's a great idea.
The lead validation?
Validation, yeah. When a new lead comes in, it has KvCore runs, kind of scrubs the internet and looks for them.
Yeah. So so for example, like this is the contact that we just created, right? And we ran validation on it, right? So all this kind of stuff happened. We ran validation on it. We found out that my name actually isn't Diego FI93. It's actually Diego Ibarra, right? And so we update the name. If we find a new phone number, we'll do that. And then look, it even knew that I was in Provo, which I'm not, but it knows that at one point I was in Provo. And so we'll do all this kind of validation for you so that you can get more data on that contact. And so we do that for every contact that's created, except for ones that you manually create. So
depending on what their email and their input is associated with, sometimes they'll show you Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, their personal website.
Super private, of course.
oh yeah, we're all about privacy. But no, like, so let's just talk about that real quick so as far as like, we follow all the best practices on privacy, right? Like we're not out there selling your information. We're not selling your contacts information. All of that is your own. So as far as that goes, like we're doing everything we can. We always constantly have security audits going on, making sure that all of your data is safe. So from that aspect, we're also completely profitable. We're venture backed, which is extremely rare for Utah startups. Typically startups in Utah have to go raise a bunch of funding, and they have to do all this kind of stuff to operate, but we operate completely on our profit, right? We're venture backed because we want to be able to have the capital behind us to make pivots and changes that need to happen so that we can succeed, so that you can succeed. But there's really never a world where some broker comes in and buys us, right? A lot of times that happens. A broker comes in, finds a cool solution, and then buys them. We're kind of at a point where we're just too big to be bought by a single brokerage. Plus, our customers are just across the whole spectrum, across the entire country, over thousands and thousands of different brokerages. So just kind of want to bring that up for your own comfort, right? We're very professional on what we're doing, and we're protecting your privacy, and we have all the capital we would need in order to make you guys successful. So that's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks, Diego.
Yeah.